Hello, strangers. Back again, are we? For another terrifying, creepy tale. Well, today's one is great. Also, if you look close, you'll see me becoming one of the undead in this video. I hope you enjoy. Hello, strangers. Are you wanting another creepy, terrifying tale? Well, you're in the right place. Today I thought I'd do something a bit different. I'm going to make myself into a zombie while you listen to my story. The undead, the rotting decay, the flesh bags walking among us, walking corpses. We knew these from movies and from TV series. Deep in our minds, we knew that this was going to happen. The death of the humans. All the remaining people not infected would then have to try and survive, to try and make it through, forever scavenging and needing. Some people knew that this was going to happen. They were prepared for this. But of course, most people, they weren't. However we thought of it, no one really knew how it was going to happen, but when it did happen, it was never something anyone would ever think about to prepare for it. Nothing like you would think at all. It was from a freak accident. A rock from space landed into the sea. No one knows where exactly it landed, but it affected all of us. It contaminated all the water on the planet Earth. Whatever that was covered in the rock or leaked out of this rock from space contaminated all our water, all our food, all our crops. It happened so fast. First, people got sick. Of course, the news and the internet were saying it was some kind of bug or a sickness. But somehow we all knew that was not the reason why everyone was getting sick. They were calling it a bug, a virus, but the symptoms were nothing like that. The first symptom was headaches, very bad headaches, migraines, then became the swelling of the eyes becoming so swollen you couldn't even close your eyes at all, and then your eyes would be pussy and affected. You'd either go blind or have no sight at all. After the swollen eyes, they would sink in and there would be just holes where the eyes used to be. Most people losing their eyes completely, or them turning completely white from blindness. The people that did keep their eyes always seemed to be pussing. Yellow pus seeping from their eyes. Affected bowels. Vomiting. Bleeding. It was so disgusting. After losing their eyes, they would normally die the most painful of deaths. Their bodies just giving up. Their stomach acid would burn through their stomachs. They would throw up so much that it was pure acid, bile, burning their skin and lips completely off their faces. Their stomachs would then burst, and yellow pus would then continue to pour out of their stomachs. After all that agonizing pain, the infected person then would have fits. As soon as their body died, they would start jolting and shaking. Then, yes, you know what happens next. They get up. At first, no one would believe this. Why was this happening? Yes, the Walking Dead, but then the worst part. They were biting and eating each other. First few cases sounded very traumatic. A family was in a ward in hospital with their dad being infected. He died that most terrible death. He woke up and ate his daughter and then his wife also. They ended up locking them in that ward. And then after that, the hospitals all seemed to close. Henry was one of those lucky people. He had space and he made his basement into one of those prepared places in case the bad got worse. On the day this all happened, Henry moved himself down into his basement where he had bottled water and tinned food to last him a few years. And there he lived there, locked in his own basement, so he did not get infected. 3 years he was down in his basement. He never heard a thing from the outdoor world. He just lived alone, trying to keep himself busy, trying to keep himself sane. He always thought to himself that everyone must have just died out there. But one day, Henry heard vomiting sounds from his ceiling. He heard vomiting sounds. Yellow, thick pus was pouring down his ceiling. The smell was revolting. Henry didn't know what to do. He got a bag and he packed some bottled water and some tins of food. There was more vomiting sounds. It sounded like lots of people above just vomiting all over the floor, which was coming down into his ceiling. It started to pour in from the ceiling. Yellow, smelly vomit. It was falling on all things from the past 3 years. Them things were still out there. After all this time, Henry was holding his bag tightly towards his chest in the corner of the room, feeling confused and terrified. More and more vomiting sounds and yellow, stringy pus. The smell now making Henry's eyes stream. The burning smell of bile and acid. Henry was in a panic now. There must be a load of the infected up there. His water bottles and tins were getting covered in vomit dripping from the ceiling. They were melting. They were no good to Henry now. It was just pouring down the cracks of the ceiling, pouring and pouring. The noise of the vomiting just went on and on. Henry decided to get out of there, to run out of his room. The room was just full of the infected, bile and vomit. He had nailed the door closed and he didn't know where his hammer was. He tried to use his hands to pull the nails out the door, but of course that wouldn't work. Set of drawers was more than 20 steps away from where he was, huddled by the door. He made a run for it, but got drips of acid on his arm. It was burning him so badly. As he ran back to the door, more pus landed on his face, burning like lava. He wiped it hard and got back to the door. He pulled out 3 nails as fast as he could, but then the roof caved in. The infected were now in the room, crawling towards him. in all the slime and pus and vomit. There was at least 7 of them crawling towards him, most their skin missing, their mouths wide open, the holes in their faces. They didn't look human anymore. They didn't look human at all. But it was too late. They were right behind him. Henry was screaming. They got closer and closer, vomited all over his legs. Henry was screaming as his skin was just melting off. Henry kept on going. He removed the last 2 nails from the door and opened it. On the other side of the door were the steps up to the first floor. Henry dragged himself up the stairs as fast as he could. His skin was burning so badly, he took out one of his bottles of water and washed vomit from his legs. As he got to the top of the stairs, he recognized the part of his house he hadn't seen in 3 years. He looked over to the front door. It was open. He couldn't see any affected. He decided to run for the door. As he was running to the door, he felt very dizzy and slipped over twice, but still getting up each time and running as fast as he could to the door, he pushed the door open. The light hurt Henry's eyes. Bang! He could see a young boy with a gun. Henry yelled, "No!
No!
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 No!" Bang! And that was the end of Henry. Did you like that story? Was it twisted enough for you? I hope it was. Let's hope that you don't come in front with an affected. Or would that just be fun for you? Probably would be because you're weird. Anyway, thanks so much for watching my video. If you liked it, don't be mean. Subscribe if you want more. I hope you enjoyed my face painting. Yes, I turned out pretty gross, didn't I? But I think I'm gross like this anyway, so I don't really care what you think. Have the most disgusting day. And have nightmares tonight. Goodbye.